Good evening, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Ruston, Louisiana. Tonight on ESPN, it's Conference USA basketball as the WKU Hilltoppers, 15-7 on the year, 4-4 in league play, meet the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. They are 16-6, and they've won 6 straight Conference USA games. They are in first place with a 6-1 record. Come on inside the Thomas Assembly Center with former Tulsa Golden Hurricane, NBA, and college basketball analyst Victor Howell. I'm Lynn Rollins. Victor, let's start with the visitors. Don McHenry, one of the leading scorers in Conference USA.
Yeah, 1 year ago, the 6'2 junior was being named a first-team All-American on the JUCO ranks. This year, he's scoring better than 15 a game. That's third in Conference USA. He's also third in field goal percentage and fourth in free throw percentage. And he's coming off a game where he scored 22 to lead his team in the win over Middle Tennessee.
Well, this Louisiana Tech team will have a different lineup tonight because Talik Chavez, who is a very accurate out-court bombardier, will not be in the starting lineup tonight. He had started every previous game. He's not available due to personal reasons.
And this is a big developing story because he's averaging 13 a game, 16 in conference play, and in their 40-point win in the last ball game, had 27 on 7 made three-pointers. That's a big loss tonight for the Bulldogs.
So it's Louisiana Tech and it's Western Kentucky out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Let's bring in the third member of our broadcast team tonight. Meet Madison Kaufman. Madison, what do you have for us?
It's Louisiana Tech with the home court advantage. And just absolutely done at home to the tune of 154 wins and just 21 losses over the last 11 seasons, Lynn.
Western Kentucky in red, Louisiana Tech in white. And we'll see how this lineup plays out in the absence of Talik Chavez. These teams have been bitter rivals over the years, and we expect a good one tonight. Louisiana Tech is in first place in the league by a half game in the loss column, 6-1, and all 6 of those victories have come consecutively. Newman takes the tip, and we are set to go. Louisiana Tech in the white. The freshman brings it up. Wanted to get it to Bacho, as Bacho's man had left him, but they can't do it on this particular occasion. Here's Ree at the top. Hand off to Newman. And a 3-ball is up, and a 3-ball is good and knocked in by Dravon Mangum, the graduate student from Roxborough, North Carolina. We're going to see a lot more of Mangum than we might normally. Here's the starting lineup for WKU. McHenry, Newman, Allen, Marshall, and Fay.
It's a great job by Mangum to hit that three-pointer, he's part of the shift in the starting lineups.
Look at the work down low. Bacho banging around with Fay.
That's a long 2 by Brandon Newman from the corner. He's second on this WKU team in points per game, and he's coming off a game when he was 0 for. Had 7 field goal attempts against Middle Tennessee, including 5 from long range, and didn't hit a thing.
So each team has scored on their first possession. This is Isaiah Crawford. Gets in trouble, kicks it out again to Mangum. On line, but a little bit long. Bacho goes a long way to get the offensive rebound. And Crawford cannot handle the pass. It's tipped out of his hands and touched last by the Hilltoppers. 15 on the shot clock.
And that was all the philosophy of long shots, making long rebounds on that missed 3 from Mangum. Popped out long. Bacho was actually boxed out on the inside, but because it went long, he was able to take advantage of it and keep possession for the Bulldogs.
He is a mobile post player, isn't he, Bacho?
He is. And he was just wide open. His man left him. They had missed him again on the paint.
Crawford has 6 to shoot. He drives, he hangs. Bacho's got it, gets rid of it with the left hand. Too strong off the window. Bacho did a good job of grabbing the offensive rebound, but then put a little too much mustard on the shot against the window.
He thought that was an automatic, too, because he put it off the glass, started running back the other way, and then turned around and realized it rolled out.
Here's McHenry. Fakes left, dribbles right, shoots the floater, and scores. He did something not a lot of players can do, and that's get a little bit of a half step on Crawford defensively.
Well, it's a great little half step that he did, the stutter step to get enough space, and then hit a very tough runner going down the lane.
4-3, Western Kentucky with a couple of buckets. Louisiana Tech with the early triple. And it's going to stay with Louisiana Tech, 14 on the shot clock. The Hilltoppers are coming off of a victory against Middle Tennessee, 88-65. Bree has it rejected, and there's 5 on the shot clock.
Good ball fake there by Isaiah Crawford. Started that whole sequence. He throws the ball fake. His man goes flying, and now the Hilltoppers were playing shorthanded. Everybody had to rotate, eventually kicking it to the side. And that allowed Devin Reed to drive the lane and draw the foul. Reed making his second start tonight. He started his first game of the season in their 40-point win over FIU, and that's because of Tyler Henry being out.
We've seen him come off the bench and pump accurate three-pointers. He seems to be a streaky shooter in the time we've seen him in a reserve role this year.
Averaging just 5 points a game in conference play, but had 9 in that win over FIU.
Reed bags the second free throw. This Louisiana Tech team, 69+% from the free throw line. Bacho is right there, rejects it. It's tipped up into the air and grabbed by Mangum.
And that was excellent defense by Bacho, who was not only keeping an eye on the ball, but also his man, Babacar Faye, who was going down the lane. He split the difference, never gave him a chance.
3 for 3. It rattles out, and the rebound claimed by Brandon Newman. By the way, Newman is a guy to watch on the offensive glass as well. Victor, nearly half of his rebounds have been offensive rebounds this year, and he is the #1 rebounder at 6 per game. Louisiana Tech comes right back. Crawford. (6-5) Louisiana Tech with the lead. Bacho working hard on the glass. He's had a bundle of rebounds early. Newman running, finds Mangum, gets to the goal, hooks it up. It rolls across. There's the follow by Bacho, but they're going to wipe it away.
They're going to call the foul on Tyrone Marshall on the initial drive before Bacho put it back. Let's take another look. Here you see Mangum going in at the up and under. They got 24 on the foul before Bacho falls up, so I'll send Mangum to the free throw line where he's hitting 76%.
Big fellow puts a soft touch on the first one. And that gives Louisiana Tech a 3-point lead. And a substitution or two. Moore comes in. Tegan Moore, a freshman from Dry Ridge, Kentucky, averaging 4.4 points and about a rebound and a half. And Mangum's second free throw is good as well.
You might be calling a lot of substitutions tonight for the Hilltoppers. They have 9 players that average at least 18 minutes a game. So their first-year head coach, Steve Lutz, does not rely on just a couple of players. He plays a full lineup, rotates them in and out.
This is McHenry. Online but long. Bacho has another rebound. That's at least 4, maybe more.
Yeah, that's his third. Officially, that's his third.
They're going to have to retotal that. Crawford, look at the move inside.
Boy, that's that slow, controlled pace by Crawford just to read where the opening is. Nice little hop step. Now a 7-0 run for the Bulldogs over the last minute 40.
10-4. Allen to the rim. Crawford sails and rejects it. His timing is impeccable. This for 3. Ree leaves it a little bit short. The Hilltoppers on the move, trying to break this run by Louisiana Tech, and there is a guy who can do it. Don McHenry. He's a left-hander. He floats. He's got a lot of moves. He can get to the bucket. He can shoot from distance. He's the complete offensive player.
And he's getting a little in the lane a little too easily, probably for Talvin Hester's liking.
Newman kicks it out. Mangum drills it for 3. Here's Moore on the run. Gets by Newman, and then it's swatted away. Bacho was there to defend. And we'll take a timeout with 15 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in the first half. Louisiana Tech leading 13-6 over Western Kentucky University. It's been a swift start for Louisiana Tech, leading by 7 against Western Kentucky. Let's check in with Madison Kaufman with more on tonight's starter, Devin Ree. Madison?
Guys, Devin Ree is really only just scratching the surface of what he could be for this Louisiana Tech team. When asked about getting the start last week, Coach Hester said he's the most coachable kid you could ever have. He really exemplifies their motto, attitude and effort. And he said he's come such a long way this season, but iron sharpens iron, and he competes against Isaiah Crawford every single day. He really can't not get better.
Tegan Moore is at the free throw line. He's a 69.6% shooter. One of the few true freshmen on this roster out of Dry Ridge, Kentucky.
Slow start for the Hilltoppers so far, shooting 37%, 3 of 8 shooting. Louisiana Tech, 4 of 8. 2 of those 4 are three-pointers. And then during that timeout, I mean, they're on the other side of the floor from us, but somebody was listening to you because Bacho now has 4 rebounds. So you've got some kind of pull and rank around here.
Well, I just went back mentally and pictured all 4 of them.
I need that kind of help. I got some bills I owe.
He's got 2 offensive rebounds.
Can you pull that for me? A little help?
I can. Crawford off the window. Really nice, huh?
Beautiful hesitation and control. Misdirection to get his man on his heels, and he drives lane and kisses it off the glass.
That's Jordan Crawford, the 6'3" sophomore from Ruston. McHenry with the floater, a little bit strong off the window, and a foul called. And they may get Bacho, they may get Crawford.
They're going to get Crawford on that one. Bacho was turned around. They get Crawford reaching in, slapping down.
Let's see if my memory is perfect, though. Do you have Bacho for 2 offensive rebounds?
I do not. It's 1 offensive, 3 defensive.
They're wrong. Enoch Callambay, who's had 8 starts. The left-hander at the line.
I love how you're showing everybody out who's watching a little insight of what I have to deal with the entire game. No, you're wrong.
Callambay is a Canadian. He's from Quebec by way of Indian Hills Community College. And 60% free throw shooter. Scores on both of those.
Both teams now 3 or 4 from the line here early on.
Newman maybe passed up a couple of shots, kicks it to Mangum. That turned out to be the better choice, didn't it?
Boy.
Mangum from the corner for 3.
All 4 of Mangum's shots getting this start tonight have come from deep, and he's hit 3 of 4. He already has 11 points.
He's got well better than a point a minute so far. Almost 2 points a minute.
Guy who came in averaging 5.5 a contest.
Moore from distance. Rattles out. Mangum sails in for the rebound, and now Newman will run. He'll stop as he lopes into front court. He looks back, and Calvin Hester calls out play number 2. Mangum hooks it to Crawford at the top. Back to Mangum, left side. Got another one! He is ripping it!
Well, he has already set his season high of made 3-pointers.
Howard working hard to clear the shot over Bacho, and he scores nicely off the window.
3 times this season, Mangum hit 2 3-pointers. He has 4 already on the night with 14 points. And if he hits another 3-pointer, that'll tie his career high.
Jack Edlin and Brandon Newman are set to come back in for the Hilltoppers. That's an ill-advised pass. Fumbled away. McHenry working, puts it up, blocked by Newman, rebounded by Newman. He's on the run. Newman gets into the lane on the other end. The late feed to Bacho, puts it up and misses, and a blocking foul called. But how about the work by Newman on both ends of the court?
And picking up the pace there, hurrying it down the floor so he can create an advantage. Winds up dropping it off to the big fellow who gets the block call on the defense, so he'll go to the line.
Bacho has shot more free throws than any other Bulldog. He's been at the line now 125 times, 65.3% shooter.
Take a look end to end. Newman on the defensive end when that shot falls short. Look at his pace down the floor to outrun everybody else and make it a 3-on-2, and he drops it off for Bacho, who just misses on the attempt. now has a chance to at least salvage 1 point with this free throw.
He cannot one of them. Colombe pulls off the rebound. 21-11. Louisiana Tech up by double figures in the first half. And remember, if you've just joined us, Talik Chavez not available to Louisiana Tech tonight because of personal reasons. Marshall outside, can't shoot from there. Shot clock at 3, at 2, at 1. Jump hook, no good. Offensive rebound pulled off. It's on the floor loose, and a scramble for it. And Bacho is able to lean all the way down from the first layer of clouds and pick that one up.
He had Isaiah Crawford on the ground trying to fight for that ball, but it rolled right to Bacho's feet.
By the way, we're going to talk a little football with head coach Sonny Cumbie at halftime, more specifically on the just completed recruiting class for Louisiana Tech. Miller has come in for the Bulldogs. Terry Miller, wearing number 34, will be defending down low in white. Here's Marshall, stutter dribble, fades and can't shoot, and then throws it off his teammate. He tried to get it down to Rodney Howard, the 6'10 senior from Michigan, by way of Georgia Tech, and that one was fumbled away, and we'll take a timeout with exactly 12 minutes remaining in the first half. Louisiana Tech 21, WKU 11.
Well, the developing story 30 minutes before tip-off was that Chavez is not going to play tonight for the Bulldogs. Drayvon Mangum gets his start, and it's the first start since December 20th at Seattle. And Mangum has let everybody know it's okay without Chavez tonight. I'll handle it from deep. 5 field goal attempts so far in the first half. All of them have been from deep. He's hit on 4 of 5. He's 1 shy away from a career high of three-pointers made. He's already set a season high for three-pointers made, and he has 14 points. And Lynn, you want to talk about confidence, getting his first start in about a month and a half, stepping in for one of the better shooters and the best three-point field goal percentage shooter in the conference is Chavez, and Mangum is just picked up like it was nobody else's business. Hey, I got you. Don't worry about it. We're in a load. 14 points already on 4 or 5 shooting.
He is a 6'8 graduate student from Roxborough, North Carolina. He started his career at Radford, and he's been throwing those three-pointers down like dropping gumbo in a dropping sausage in a gumbo pot. This is Miller outside. He won't do much with it from there. He hands it to Crawford. Half the shot clock to use. Crawford at the top. Will take the 3 from straight away. It rims out. Newman takes a flat-footed rebound. And here comes Jack Edlin, the freshman from Louisville, who's played in 16 games now off the bench. Howard forces it up, misses, grabs his own rebound, and is fouled in his second shot attempt.
They got Miller on that foul. It was close to being Isaiah Crawford. That could have been his second. It winds up being the first on Miller, which will send Howard to the free throw line.
There you see 34 in white with a bit too much contact, and Howard is a 64% free throw shooter, averaging 10 points on the year and 5 rebounds. His first stop collegiately was Georgia Tech. Mangum goes to the bench. Ree is back in. Crawford is in the game as well, both Crawfords. Miller and Jalen Henderson. This for 3, a little bit long from the side by Henderson. Colombe gets it to Edlin. Can't penetrate. His pass is deflected. And a foul called on Crawford.
Oh,
that's a hustle foul.
That is, but that's also his second foul. They called him for a cheap one early in the first half. That's 2 on Crawford. Still 11 minutes to go. Take another look as Henderson got back on defense before Crawford jumps out there to try to get the steal, but then he gets a little bit of a push. So Crawford's going to have to go to the bench.
And Mangum comes right back off the bench after a very brief rest and replaces Isaiah Crawford.
Bit of a scoring drought here for the Bulldogs. Haven't scored in the last 2:41, but still holding on to an 8-point lead.
And it's been as big as 12. Callum Bay hands it off to Allen. Allen working on Henderson. 4 seconds to shoot. This will count if it goes. It does not. Henderson is there for the backside rebound. Now Crawford working against Newman. Henderson snaking inside, shoots the floater. Got a good look at it, but missed it off to the right side. The loose ball is picked up. 1-on-2. Callum Bay works down. That's blocked, rejected. Put back up, and Miller grabs it.
Boy, and we are seeing the strength. Look, both of these teams represent the best in the conference. WKU offensively is the best, but defensively Louisiana Tech is the best in Conference USA. And right now it's the defense that winning out and frustrating the Hilltoppers here in the first 10 minutes.
Mangum and Ree have been swatting them down, and a driving layup is good and a foul called. Jordan Crawford, the sophomore from Ruston, a freshman, All-Conference USA freshman team last year.
Boy, head coach Steve Lutz furious that his team just stopped and played that Ole defense. Ole! As he goes running by. Instead of closing that lane and stopping the ball, the defenders all stopped short and left the lane wide open that Crawford was able to take advantage of and score the hoop.
And now Crawford will attempt to give Louisiana Tech an 11-point lead. It's 24-13. We are at the midway point in the first half. McHenry almost threw that one by Newman, but he grabbed it. Bacho back in defending. Oh, look at those two bang. Bacho defends it, and that sweeping layup, no good by Fay. This is a 3-ball up and a rare miss for Mangum tonight. And it's going to go to the Hilltoppers.
Wow. Bacho swatted that one out. He didn't try to grab the rebound. He tried to swat it out to a teammate like you see a lot of NBA teams do. But they called the foul on Bacho going over the back on the swat to knock the ball back to his teammate.
How many is that on Bacho?
That's his first.
That's what I thought. He normally plays without foul difficulty. Re-defending. Bacho rises and slams it away.
Now they call that foul on Devin Ree.
And Ree is incredulous. If we have another look at it, I don't think you're going to see contact by Ree.
Well, they're going to take a look right now, but they're not going to look at the foul. They're going to take a look and see if it's a goaltend. Because there was a foul and Bacho got right up by the rim. Let's take another look. They call the contact right there.
Okay, there was contact.
And they call the contact after the spin move, but what they want to watch is watch Bacho as he elevates. Here's the contact on the body. And then Bacho goes up for the block, and what they want to see is whether or not it was a goaltend. They're going to count it. They are going to say goaltend.
So a foul and a goaltending call. And that ought to put the shooter at the line, right?
Yeah, he was going to the line anyway, but now he's going to go for one instead of two. He'll give him the bucket, and he'll get one free throw.
So Marshall, in a weird way, will try to complete the three-point play.
Right, how do you make a three-point play when you don't make the bucket?
Yeah.
And you shoot one free throw, right? Here's how you do it. And he's a good free throw shooter, too. It's a little better than 74%.
(24-16) now. Louisiana Tech leading on its own court, where it has been so good over many, many years. Ree looking inside. Bacho wants it, but he's not available at the moment. Now this is Crawford on the reverse dribble. Shoots behind the inadvertent screen.
Yeah.
That was kind of a block out by Bacho. He was there trying to get out of the way, but the defender couldn't do anything, and there's a nice shot laid in by Newman.
And this is the pace that WKU likes to play.
Yep.
Steve Lutz, for his last 2 seasons, played at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, where he went 47-23. And then I know you've done some of their games. I had a chance to do a couple of their games as well, and he really likes that up-tempo pace.
3 for 3. It rims out. Marshall goes way up, knocks one of his own men down as he grabs the rebound. 3 on 5 right now. Now 4 on 5. Now 5 on 5. It didn't matter. McHenry can score from anywhere, right?
I mentioned it earlier. It's probably too much for Telvin Hester's comfort that McHenry's finding it that easy to get into the lane. That's his second floating jumper that he's hit in this ball game, and he's had 2 or 3 other opportunities that he's missed.
Now we've got a 6-point game. Louisiana Tech leading. The lead has been cut in half. Newman snakes his way right in, scores with the right hand from the left side, and they let him get to point-blank range.
That's his first bucket of the night. And of note, looking at the scoring column, Bacho in the middle has 4 rebounds, only 1 field goal attempt, and has yet to score tonight.
And it's been a while since he's had a rebound or a score. McHenry out front. Stops, pulls the trigger, and nails it. He is a pure shooter with a lot of variety.
He now has 8 on the ball game.
And guess what? Here comes WKU.
Yeah. Yep, their patience is paying off. Some frustration earlier, but now they've hit 4 of 5 from the floor.
And they pulled to within 6 with just over 7 minutes to go in the opening half. Here's Newman. Bacho comes out. Newman slides to the slot. Throws a dangerous pass to Ree in the opposite corner. This is Bacho. He's going to have a path to the goal. Shoots with the left hand. It bounces, and it goes.
Remember, his only other field goal attempt came about 2 minutes into the ball game, that little 3-footer when he kissed it off the glass and it rolled all the way around and out. That time it touched every part of the rim on the bounces. It fell for him.
Well, that last shot would have been worth a free game on a pinball machine. Ree is right there to grab the rejection. Newman calls out play number 1. Sean Newman, a sophomore from Los Angeles. His first stop was Fullerton College, where he averaged 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. Newman makes a bad pass, looking to his left. He thought a teammate was there. He wasn't. The other Newman works down and scores.
Yeah, Newman that time made his way down the lane. He was going to kick it to the corner for Mangum, but he didn't know Mangum was leaving the corner to go to the basket. That's why it was a turnover and led to an easy bucket for the Hilltoppers.
That ship had already sailed, hadn't it?
Yes, indeed.
Crawford fakes left, dribbles right, gets the big guy to come out on him. Somebody's got to be open. Bacho is drawing a double team. And Louisiana Tech right now leads by 6 with 5:56 to go in the opening period in Ruston, Louisiana. Just under 6 minutes remain in the first half here in Ruston, Louisiana. Louisiana Tech out in front over Western Kentucky by 6. These teams ranked 1 and 2 in Conference USA in point production per game. Right now, Western Kentucky is a bit under that pace, Victor, but averaging nearly 81 a game to lead the league, and Louisiana Tech not far behind.
No, in that matchup, the counter to that matchup is the fact that Louisiana Tech is the #1 team in the conference when it comes to defense, giving up just 63 a game. WKU is 8th out of the 9-team Conference USA. So early on, it was Louisiana Tech's defense that was causing so much frustration for the Hilltoppers, but in the last 5 or 6 minutes, they've obviously found a little more of that confidence to cut into that deficit and have just be a 6-point game.
The main difference in this game is 4 3-pointers from Draybon Mangum. And Western Kentucky does not have one yet.
Yeah, they've attempted 4, missed all of them. He's hit 4 of his 6 attempts.
And Mangum just let that one loose on line, but a little bit off the mark. And Bacho gets tangled up and a little slow getting up. Let's see against whom they call the foul. I think it's going to be against Bacho, is it not? Yes, it is, and Miller's going to come back in.
Yep, that's his second. So Isaiah Crawford with 2, now Bacho with 2.
And we may not see Bacho for the rest of the half with 5:38 to go, and Miller is going to come in after this free throw. Gallambe, 60% free throw shooter. Came off the bench tonight, but he's had 8 starts. It's a 4-point game. Right now for Louisiana Tech, it's Miller in the middle, Mangum at 1 forward position, Newman is in the game. Bree is in the game. And Crawford. Crawford gets to the rim, leaves it a little bit short. Offensive rebound pulled off, it's thrown away. Newman can't make it, Mangum can't make it happen. And it goes back to Western Kentucky.
Yeah, Rodney Howard tried to give Louisiana Tech a gift. He got the defensive rebound, but off balance just threw it right under the front of his basket, and it turned into a steal for Tech, but Bulldogs couldn't convert.
It's a two-possession game after Louisiana Tech was leading a couple of times by 12. Just under 5 minutes to go, first half. That's stripped. Mangum comes away with it.
Third steal for the Bulldogs.
Now Crawford will wait until the retinue floats by and put it in play 5-on-5 in the half-court offense. Miller spinning, kicks it left side, makes a bad pass, good idea. Newman is able to run down the retrieval. 7 to shoot, Mangum for 3, rattles out. Miller, big offensive rebound, and he's still got it. Everybody wants, on the Western Kentucky side, wants a travel, but no whistle. And Miller really worked hard to grab that thing.
Now he got held. They'll call a foul. That's great effort by Miller. Off balance, trying to get possession of the ball, but still fighting, not giving up on it. Keeps the possession by the big man.
Awkward, didn't it? But Miller was able to keep it legal.
WKU happening in front of their bench. They were screaming for travel. I'm not sure he ever had possession long enough to have a travel. The ball was bouncing all over the place.
Well, the shot clock reset at 20. And Louisiana Tech needs a basket, leading only by 4.
No Crawford, no Bacho, and no points in the last 2:50 for Louisiana Tech.
3 to shoot, this for 3, and it is rammed home. Jordan Crawford. That's a big, big bucket. Mangum hustles over but cannot prevent the 3-ball from Tegan Moore, who just checked into the game for the second time off the bench.
Yeah, that was Crawford's 6th made 3-pointer of the season, but then the Bulldogs late getting back, and Moore was just sitting in the corner, had all day to think about that. That's a guy who can score, Tegan Moore.
Yeah.
He averaged 32 a game his senior year in high school, 3rd most in the state of Kentucky.
They play a little basketball in that state, don't
from what I hear.
Crawford thought about another 3, now he'll take it. Leaves it short, Miller battling for the rebound, but it's grabbed by Moore. Edlin on the move, nearly bumped off the ball, kicks it out for a 3, swish! And here comes Callum Bay, and here come his teammates, WKU. And right now, it is a 1-point game. Western Kentucky has made up 11 of a 12-point deficit and trails only by 1.
It's been a very quick 6-0 run in the last 42 seconds for the Hilltoppers. The last one coming from Enoch Callum Bay, who hits the 3, and look at the celebration. And why, Lynn? That's just his 2nd made 3-pointer of the season, but what a time to do it, as WKU, and you mentioned it going to commercial, having been down by as many as 12. Patience, they've crawled back into it. They've now hit their last 3 field goals, a quick 6-0 run, and now with 3 minutes to go, it's a brand new ball game, just a 1-point game.
And your point is so well made, because prior to that 3, Callum Bay was 1 for 12 from out court.
Yeah, he picked a great time to make his 2nd one of the season, and Steve Lutz there, you just saw him a minute ago, right there in the shot, the head coach, a little frustrated with his team early on, but you know, if it was a boxing match, they got close to taking the standing 8 count because Louisiana Tech was hitting them on both sides, defensively frustrating them, offensively putting points on the board. But Isaiah Crawford's been on the bench with 2, Bacho's been on the bench with 2, and Western Kentucky has invited themselves right back into this ball game.
Crawford at the point. Now remember, Bacho is on the bench, and so is Isaiah Crawford with 2 fouls. That 3-ball went halfway down and then reverberated away as Newman tried to make it good from the corner. That's swatted down by Miller. Edlin took it too far into the postman, and Miller rejected it. Mangum kicks out, 3 for 3, left a little bit short. Rebound goes all the way to the top of the circle.
6 blocks for Louisiana Tech on the defensive end. Western Kentucky has yet to block a shot, but the Bulldogs relying a little too much now on that outside shot, especially with your top 2 scorers on the bench. Louisiana Tech's 1 for their last 8 from the field.
And it's a 1-point game. Western Kentucky can take the lead right here, and it does. There is the versatility of Callum Bay, I think, on that score.
There was Callum Bay. He has 9. Only 2 field goals, but he's made all 4 of his free throws and has 5 rebounds.
Well, that's 3 points greater than the season's average of 6. 4-3.
Another outside shot. It's just 2. For Louisiana Tech now, they're falling into it. Mangum was hot earlier, and that's no problem when he was on that roll, but now your 2 top scorers are on the bench. Another bucket by the Hilltoppers on the inside, and the Bulldogs are not doing themselves any favors by taking these long shots. Patience on the offensive end, work and try to drive into the basket, and don't settle for 20-footers.
And Moore on the other end was able to get to the basket and score on the short drifter. This is Crawford.
That's offensive. They're going to call that on Miller. Miller was trying to go down the lane and just kind of gave a little forearm chuck and knocked his man backwards.
And now Will Allen checks into the game for the first time. A 6'7" sophomore from New Orleans. He wears 14 in white. This past 3 or 4 minutes has been non-productive for Louisiana Tech. They led by 12 on a couple of occasions.
It's a 10-0 run, to your point, by WKU over the last 2.5 minutes. If you want to go even bigger, it's a 14-3 run over the last 5 minutes.
62 seconds to go in the first half. McHenry tries to sneak inside, but he's cut off in the slot. Allen is defending. And let's see what they call. They may get Allen for the foul. They do.
They do. Body contact while Howard was losing his balance, but that's a big challenge to guard the 6'11", 250-pound forward.
And I think this is going to be 1-1. He got the roll. He'll get the second shot.
Here's a look at where the contact was made. Watches Howard left side of the lane trying to drive in. He's going to start to lose his balance a little bit, but they call the body contact with Allen, who was trying to body him up on his side. That's what sent Howard to the line, who hits his second one.
So Louisiana Tech in the throes of a late first half slump. Now trail by 5. We've had a 17-point swing over the last 3 or 4 minutes. Newman works inside, spinning, gets double teamed, and they call a foul with a little more than a half a minute to go. This is going to be 1-1 for Newman.
First foul on Dante Allen, who averages 8 points a game, but he's the only Hilltopper on the floor that has yet to score tonight.
Newman is a good free throw shooter, better than 81%. In fact, he's the best free throw shooter on this team at 81.3. Tech could use them, and Newman delivers both of them.
Yes, desperately needed points for the Bulldogs, who still no field goals in the last 3:40 for Louisiana Tech.
And a timeout is called by WKU. They had one to use, so why not? Have you been to Bowling Green, Kentucky? It is a beautiful, beautiful part of that state.
I have not.
Lots of caverns. Mammoth Cave is not too far from Bowling Green. There's a, believe it or not, a cave with an underground river that starts in the city limits of Bowling Green. It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
Put that on the list to get there.
Yeah. And an old-fashioned downtown square. I've been there when a light snow has been falling at night, and it's a postcard type scene. There are people out there going, what? Postcard? What is that? What does he mean? Right?
See, I didn't react because I knew what you meant. I'm old enough to know what you're talking about, yes.
There's about a 2-second difference between the clocks. And McHenry's going to try to take the shot clock down as far as he can. He's guarded by Mangum.
You've seen him use that crossover to get into the lane.
10 seconds to shoot. Moore gets there, puts it off the window, no good, and Howard may have been on the back of a Tech Bulldog. I think that's what they may get. Oh no, they don't. They don't. They put Howard at the line.
They're going to call that on Allen, that he pulled his arm down. I was with you. It sure did look like that the big man, Rodney Howard, went over the back, but let's take another look. Keep your eye there in the middle of the screen. Oh, I see where the contact was with Allen underneath. As you might take another look. Watch when Howard gets the ball. Allen hits him, but it looks like the way Howard got the ball, it was by going over his back, but they called the contact on Allen instead.
On second look, I just would have not blown the whistle at all. Just let it play out. But it is Howard at the free throw line, and he makes Louisiana Tech pay.
Big night so far for Howard. He only shoots 64% on the season from the free throw line, but he's 5 of 5 with 1 to come.
So Western Kentucky, with a spurt offensively over the last 3 or 4 minutes, looking for its 40th point, which would put them right on pace for their league-leading production of 80 per game on average. .7 seconds to go. Louisiana Tech will have time to execute an offensive play.
Howard for the Hilltoppers has 8 points. He's made 1 field goal, 6 of 6 from the free throw line. Calambé's got 9 points. He's made 2 field goals, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Overall, WKU is 12 of 13 from the line.
4 seconds. Long 3, and it's coming up woefully short. Put back in by Ree. Ree with a reverse layup as the horn sounds. And that shot came up very, very short, but Ree would have nothing of that. And he sticks it back in. Let's take another look at Ree. Well, we'll show that, we're going to show it right here.
Not sure this is how they drew it up, or from long range. The air ball comes short, turns into what's basically an assist, and something that the Bulldogs needed, their first field goal in the last 4 minutes.
All right, let's go down to Madison Kaufman. Madison, it's all yours.
Coach Hester, Draymond Mangum got a big start in Talik Chavez's absence tonight. What made him the go-to guy for you?
It wasn't. The ball just found him. He was open. When we got guys like Bacho and Isaiah on the court, they have to leave somebody open, and he was open. He made shots.
Obviously, not quite the ending you wanted to go into the half. What do you need to adjust for the second half?
We got to have Isaiah and Bacho on the floor. They can't foul. They got to play without fouling. If we can play with some of our best players on the floor, we have a chance.
Thanks for your candor, Coach.
Don't forget, coming up next, we will talk football with Sonny Cumbie. He's the head coach of the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. Recruiting in particular will be front and center. That's coming up in just a moment. Meanwhile, let's take a timeout. Western Kentucky leads by 3 over Louisiana Tech at halftime. Western Kentucky on the road leads by 3 as we get set for the second half. But first, let's check in with Madison Kaufman. Madison?
Coach Hester said a big difference maker in this game is that they need Isaiah Crawford back in the game, and he should be back starting the second half. But the best thing about Isaiah Crawford is not only are you getting him back, you might get an entirely different Isaiah Crawford back. He only had 4 points in the first half, but he can turn it around on a dime, and it's been like that all season long. The Jacksonville State was a prime example of that. And Coach Hester said there really is no rushing him. When it clicks, it clicks. He doesn't talk to him at halftime. He doesn't try to rush him. He's his own worst critic, and he just lets him ride it.
Well, Victor, both Crawford and Bacho spent a lot of time watching this game from the sideline after their second fouls. We'll see if their return to the lineup here to start the second half makes any difference, as Louisiana Tech gave up a 12-point lead in the first half.
Yeah, and in terms of scoring, the two of them combined only have 6 points. Crawford 2 of 4 from the floor, Bacho 1 of 2.
And it's been a while since Bacho has grabbed a rebound. He had 4 early, but his presence has not yet been felt. That long three-point shot comes up a bit short by Brandon Newman. And Louisiana Tech, down by 3, has a chance to pull within 1 or perhaps take the lead.
A couple of interesting tidbits from the end of the first half when we've got our first dead ball I'll tell you about.
Newman hands it off to Isaiah Crawford. He skids to a stop. He shoots. It's rejected. He gets it back. Puts it on the floor. Fakes. Throws up the half hook. No good. Tries to tip it. No good. And here comes Western Kentucky. McHenry is fouled in backcourt.
It's probably a frustration foul by Isaiah Crawford as he picks up his third just, less than 1 minute here into the second half.
And he is apparently going to go right back to the bench as Jordan Crawford, no relation, will replace him, and that's exactly what Isaiah Crawford did not want to happen. And this is not even a foul that makes any sense in backcourt.
Yeah. Last 5:56 of the first half, Western Kentucky won 16-7. In that time frame, Louisiana Tech went 2 of 11 from the floor. As you see an offensive foul called there on Babacar Faye. Last basically 6 minutes of the first half, the Bulldogs went 2 of 11 from the floor. Their last 7 field goal attempts, taking away the putback off the air ball in, all 3-pointers. They just hit 1. That's what goes to my point of what I was saying. They were settling for that outside shot. The one shot they made at the very end was off an air ball from the 3-pointer.
And Marshall breaks away for the flush. Louisiana Tech down 42-37 on their own court. In the last 14 years, they've won nearly 90% of their games in this building. They're 169-21. But having some trouble tonight against visiting Western Kentucky. And Victor, I don't know if you heard it earlier, but these teams have played 42 times in their basketball histories. Each team has 21 wins. That's how close it's been over the years.
Very close in this series. Give Western Kentucky a lot of credit. They were taking some shots early in this ball game, but they withstood the defensive pressure from the Bulldogs, got some fouls on a couple of individual players, and then they really exploded in the last 6 minutes of the first half.
And Western Kentucky may have bailed Newman out on the baseline. He was fouled. He was in trouble looking to try to desperately find a teammate. 20 on the shot clock. We've played a minute and a half in the final period. That's a good inside pass to Bacho, but he can't finish. Bacho comes back down with it, and Bacho is fouled before the shot, apparently. And they're going to get on the foul Faye. Babacar Faye from Senegal. He's also seen duty at the College of Charleston.
Here's a look underneath. So many times we've seen Bacho make that shot. Remember, his first miss was from 3 feet away off the backboard, rolled around there. He misses one close in the lane. Everybody just seems a little bit out of sorts after that first 7 or 8 minute barrage, when much of that was coming from Trayvon Mangum and his 3-point shooting. Louisiana Tech just has not been able to find a rhythm.
Crawford off the mark on the last shot. McHenry is not. Boy, he can create a lot of shots, and he's very accurate, isn't he?
He sure is. Reason why he's top 3 scorer in conference play. We've seen him hit from the outside, but we've really seen his ability to drive into the lane.
We have not seen him shoot a lot of 3 balls tonight, but he had 33 of them converted coming into this game and shooting 42.3% from out court.
He's only taken 1 3-pointer, but he hasn't had to. He's had so much success getting into the paint.
Somebody needs to find an offensive rhythm. That was a late pass to Bacho, but he's there. Too strong again. Puts it back up with the left hand and comes up shy.
Yeah, just out of sync. Too hard on the first shot, and then airballs the follow-up attempt.
McHenry had that one rejected by Newman. What a beautiful block. Bacho is defending. That shot goes awry. Ball is bouncing around. There are 2 players out of bounds. It came down off of one of them. I think it's going...
Call a foul. I think they called it on either Devin Ree or Trayvon Mangum. Called it on Mangum. It looked like Louisiana Tech was getting control, but you're right. Bodies on the floor everywhere. Here's another look at it coming right at you. Trying to avoid Bacho. Rolls off to the side.
Yeah.
And there you see 2 Louisiana Tech players kind of bumping into each other, and it's big Rodney Howard on the floor. They called Mangum on the foul.
And meanwhile, Western Kentucky moves out in front 44-37. Right now, Louisiana Tech is in trouble. It's been a bit of a fits and starts game for Louisiana Tech. The Bulldogs have not gotten into an offensive rhythm, at least among those who normally provide it, and that would be Bacho, and that would be Crawford, and of course Chavez unavailable to Louisiana Tech tonight, missing this game because of personal reasons.
Field goal percentage for Louisiana Tech down to 34%, 0 for 6 in this half. Here in the first, basically 3 minutes. They've only taken 1 3-pointer. They've missed all 6 field goal attempts.
Louisiana Tech is 77-16 in this building against Conference USA opponents.
And a bit uncharacteristically missing at the free throw line now, 6 for 11 from the free throw line.
Bacho sends that one off course with a beautiful block.
Well, that one on Mangum, that's going to be his second.
Yeah, this is getting dicey for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Mangum has 2, Bacho has 2, Allen has 2, Miller has 2, Crawford on the bench with 3.
And McHenry, 83.3%. He's the most accurate free throw shooter for WKU. What's his point total now?
Henry's got 11 on 5 of 9 shooting. That's his first free throw attempt, 4 rebounds.
He's averaging about 15.5. (46-37). This is the biggest lead in the game for Western Kentucky. Plenty of time on the shot clock. 4-3 from the wing. A little bit short by Ree. The Ree for 3 combination has not materialized.
It's going to stay on this end as the foul is on Marshall. That's his third. He's the first Hilltopper really in foul trouble.
Callum Bay comes back in the game and replaces Marshall. .20 on the shot clock after the foul.
More than half of Louisiana Tech's field goal attempts tonight have come from deep. But they're just 5 of 21 from behind the line.
That's not good enough. Mangum gets to the rim, whirls the ball around, and lays it in.
That's what you need more of. Find some offensive confidence. Look, you can keep shooting 3-pointers all day. The odds will tell you eventually something's going to go in, but when time is of the essence and you were up 12 and now you're down 9, attack the glass, try to draw a foul, get layups like Western Kentucky's doing right now. That's their third drive to the basket here in the second half.
Howard did a wonderful job of blocking out, if you will, blocking out Bacho, who was trying to get around him to get to the shooter. We have played 4 minutes in the second half. Western Kentucky leading 48-39 now. Crawford gets to the rim and lays it in. 2-year point, 2 in a row for the Bulldogs.
2 in a row, getting right there to the backboard, getting it up and off the glass and in.
Here's McHenry, guarded by the taller Mangum. Newman, guarded by Tex Newman. Howard, nice little jump hook over Bacho. And we've got a timeout with 15:37 to go. Western Kentucky University 50, Louisiana Tech 41. At halftime, Western Kentucky led by 3. The lead has moved to 9. Let's go back to Madison Kaufman. Madison?
Joe is one of just 2 players in the entire country averaging at least 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks in per game. The only other player doing it is Zach Edey from Purdue, and he's really going to have to up his offensive production if he wants to hold on to that title.
Madison Kaufman, Victor Howell, Lynn Rollins with you. 15:37 to go in the second half. Western Kentucky right now is taking the fight to Louisiana Tech. And both Bacho and Crawford, who, by the way, is coming back into the game right now, Victor, with 3 fouls. But those two have been out of sorts offensively, and they normally are where this Louisiana Tech offense starts.
Yeah, and early on, Mangum was picking up the pieces with Chavez not playing tonight, but Crawford just 4 points on 2 of 6 shooting and those 3 fouls. And Bacho just 1 of 5 from the floor. He does have 6 rebounds, but just 2 points. Can they try to find a way to run the offensive set and get them involved?
And already we've got a foul away from the ball. That's on Allen. That's his second.
Since the 6-minute mark left in the first half, and now we're at basically 15 and a half. So you add in the first 5 of this half and the last 6 in the first half, so about 11-minute span. It's been 28-11 WKU over Louisiana Tech. But remember, it's not that the Bulldogs haven't had shot opportunities. It's just that so many of them they took from 3 and they missed all but 1.
Tegan Moore has replaced Allen, who wears number 30 in red. Louisiana Tech cannot afford to leave points at the free throw line, and Mangum converts the first one.
Bulldogs have to get back to their defensive, the basics of their defense. Remember, that's what had Hilltoppers so frustrated early on in this ballgame. The #1 defense in Conference USA. About the first 7 or 8 minutes had the frustrations, and then they've dropped off, and Hilltoppers have been able to find ways to drive the lane and expose them and get to the basket.
And some sort of violation in the lane has been detected, so Mangum is going to get another opportunity after missing the second shot.
Courtesy to Newman for jumping in the lane early and giving them a bonus shot, which he takes advantage of and makes. Brandon Newman jumped in a little early, so the freebie pays off for the Bulldogs.
The 2 free throws cut the lead to 7. Quick turnaround 3 from straight away is knocked down. That one just blistered the bottom of the net by Brandon Newman.
Jordan Crawford got caught behind a screen in the lane. He was standing right next to Bacho, never got around the screen and left his man wide open.
That's Newman's 34th converted triple of the year, and that's just a couple behind the leader. He came into the game tied for second with McHenry. How about that?
Boy, just a little hesitation move there by Crawford is all it took, and then he just exploded down the lane to finish that off.
Isaiah Crawford comes out, nearly flirted with his 4th foul. He's got to be careful. 22 in white. He's defending Moore. Moore goes too deep. Crawford reaches in, tries to rip it out of his hands, and it's going to go with Louisiana Tech. Boy, that is dangerous for Isaiah Crawford to try to be that aggressive, but he did it cleanly.
Here's another look. He keeps his hands down. They call the travel here. Go watch. But here he decides, hey, I'm going to go for that strip. Well, he doesn't drag that other foot, and that's going to be a 4th foul on Crawford. But nice heads-up defense to get him to stop on the baseline and cause the turnover.
Crawford is anything but timid.
You know, that's a word we haven't used a lot tonight, Lynn. Turnovers. Just 8 for Western Kentucky, just 4 for Louisiana Tech. Not a lot of giveaways by either team, but there's one there with the steal.
Crawford threw it right to McHenry, and then it's taken back by Newman. A 3-ball. Rattles, tip no good. The initial miss by Crawford. McHenry cut off.
Crawford slapped at that one.
McHenry misses. And let's see if Louisiana Tech can reduce the lead from 8. 13 minutes and 35 seconds to go.
Jordan Crawford tried that hesitation move. Newman didn't bite on it this time. Last time he fell for it, and Crawford blew right past him.
Isaiah Crawford takes the 3, and Isaiah Crawford shoots a cotton ball.
7 points now for Isaiah Crawford, his first made 3-pointer on 3 attempts.
It's a 5-point game. Louisiana Tech still with the deficit. I'll tell you what's interesting to watch as a side note, and that is Rodney Howard and Bacho battling down low. Howard number 0 in red, Bacho number 13 in white. Keep your eye on those 2 giants doing battle in the lane.
Howard's got about 20 pounds on him in terms of overall size. They look each other eye to eye, and Howard missed a gimme that last time down.
And Newman just missed a gimme. But there was a foul after the ball rolled loose.
Foul called on Howard, pulling his arm down. That's Howard's second. Newman got to the basket, just not able to convert. Howard gets the contact. Now he's going to go to the bench.
McHenry's going to get a little rest as well. So Western Kentucky's leading scorer is on the bench for the moment. Crawford will shoot free throws. Isaiah can make it a three-point game. That ball sort of comes off sideways out of his hand, doesn't it?
It does.
Watch the rotation as the release is made.
It works for him. 73% shooter from the line.
It's almost like a screwball.
It's at the very end. It's at the very end of his release when his fingers come through and follow through. It's almost a little bit of a sidewinder.
Yep.
The very top of his release.
Western Kentucky by 3 with the basketball. This is Fay at the top. Tries to work a pass down low. Isaiah Crawford strips it out of his hands.
Callum Bay with the trip after Crawford. Once again, you said it. Boy, he flirts with that line of getting 4 fouls. Look at this battle down on the paint. But he causes the steal, then he reaches over to pick it up, and there's the foul, knocking Crawford to the ground.
Man.
Boy, either Isaiah Crawford doesn't know he has 3 fouls or he just doesn't care because he's out there playing like he has no fouls.
And Louisiana Tech might need that in this game. Not much has gotten into a rhythm for the Bulldogs. Let's take a timeout. 12:23 to go in the second half. Western Kentucky 53, Louisiana Tech 50. This game coming your way on ESPN Plus from Ruston, Louisiana. During the timeout, there was a review of the last play. The officials were looking at the tape. We have not been made aware of what that inquiry was about, but we believe it's about the nature of the foul coming up right here.
Right there on the grab. See how the hand goes up almost to the inner thigh of Crawford when he brought him down. I think we're going to have an official come tell us right now.
The foul's been upgraded to a flagrant 1, so 2 shots in the ball right here.
So they did upgrade it as you were just looking at the replay. They did upgrade, and as you saw, and that was a great angle. I don't know if we have another chance to look at it, but if we do, watch the hand go up Crawford's thigh. He's on the ground as Callum Bay and basically pulls him down by extending his hand and grabbing his thigh. And so when they looked at it during the timeout, that's why we had the timeout, they have upgraded it to a flagrant 1. So that's going to give Crawford 2 free throws, and then Louisiana Tech will get the ball.
Let's take another look at this, and you'll see the leg, the yank, almost like a trip.
Look, here's the battle. Crawford's going to get the deflection, and then he's going to pick up the ball, but watch the hand once he's down, and he goes and grabs his leg right here
there,
and pulls him down. You know, a lot of people get frustrated with replays, and that's a great job by this crew to see that and take the time to say, we need to look at this again. That's what caused the timeout, but then to upgrade it because they saw something. That's a very good job of looking at that in a very physical play.
So the Bulldogs have a chance for a 4, maybe a 5-point possession. And they trail by 1. So let's see if Louisiana Tech can take advantage of the flagrant foul and retake the lead for the first time in a while.
It's a 9-0 run by Tech in the last. Oh, there's a dunk.
Crawford to Bacho. He's the Bacho man.
Great set play to get Bacho on that alley-oop off that back screen. It's an 11-0 run now for Tech.
Isaiah Crawford takes it away. The pass to Mangum is deflected. This is Ree. He almost failed to put it on the floor, but he did so in time. Let's go back to that pass by Crawford, though, that we just saw. Beautifully executed. He fakes left. He dribbles right. He pulls up in the slot. He fires. It's on line but short. Bacho somehow dives in for the rebound. 1-on-3. Do they get Bacho for the foul?
No, they call him on a travel.
Okay.
They didn't say that any contact, despite what the Louisiana Tech bench was wanting. They said that Bacho went down on his own. Yes, there were 3 red jerseys around him, but none of the red jerseys tried to reach in and slap at it. Bacho went down to the ground, and they call him for the travel. But that possession before, here's the highlight coming off that high screen that Bacho sets. Nobody goes on the roll, and it's a wide open alley-oop touch pass.
A perfect pass from Crawford. Meanwhile, Bacho continues to flail away, hit the floor. That guy is as tough as a railroad spike.
They're going to call the foul on Bacho that time, exchanging underneath as they're going back and forth. And It's getting a little testy now between these two teams.
Yes, it is.
Little extra physicality taking place.
Bacho has the advantage of being able to speak in French, if that's necessary.
Oh, that's in kickball, that's a double. Devin Ree trying to fight 3 red jerseys. Unfortunately, went off his foot. Back in the old recess when you got to kick it off the opposite wall for a home run, that would have been a double in kickball. Unfortunately, it goes back to the Hilltoppers if you're Louisiana Tech. But this is a scoring drought for the Hilltoppers now of the last 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
And Bacho is on the bench. He's got 3 fouls now, does he?
Bacho has 3 fouls, yes.
So he is on the bench, and Miller has come back in, 34 in white. McHenry shoots the floater, and he's got it. Boy, he is really smooth.
He makes that look easy. That is not an easy shot when you're driving, and then you try to pull up, but you're still floating in motion, and then try to shoot it up and over the big man. He does it very well. He now has 14.
Mangum. Bang!
There's his career high tying 5th made 3-pointer, Mangum now has 21 on the night.
At one point, he was 4 out of his first 5 from 3-point range. This game is very physical.
That foul's going to be called on Miller. That's his 3rd, so he has 3. Crawford has 3. Bacho has 3. Miller and Crawford still on the floor. For what it's worth, Crawford came back, as Lynn mentioned, early with those 3 fouls, but he scored 7 points without getting a foul. He's now in double digits with 11.
Well, we heard Madison talk about Crawford's ability to play better in the second half, and he tips that, almost got it. Crawford goes down very hard. He is in pain, in anguish, trying to get up. Now remember, he's had 2 serious knee injuries that have kept him out for months and months and months during his career. He's walking this one off. He hit the deck rather violently.
There's another look at it as he extends to try to get it. You see right there when his leg goes down and he slips, a little bit of the splits.
And the twisted knee, but he looks like he's going to be able to stay in the game.
I wasn't looking so much at how he hit the floor. I was, in terms of his body, I was watching when he slammed the floor with his fist.
Yep.
Because we know he's gone through so many injuries, you keep thinking, oh no, not again. Because if anybody knows what it would be like, it'd be him.
Tech by 2.
That last 3-pointer, by the way, from Mangum tied his career high. He's now 1 point shy of his career high of 22 that he had against Jarvis Christian back in December of 2022.
Miller hands it off to Isaiah Crawford. 8 to shoot. Crawford tries to get loose on the step back, then goes inside and draws a foul.
Well, I guess we don't have to worry about that knee after that triple stutter step. Little shake and bake with the dribble through the legs, and then another hesitation as he then explodes down the lane. And look, there's the hesitation, backs up, then goes down the lane, draws 3 red jerseys, and will go to the free throw line.
Six for 10 field goals. I beg your pardon, 3 for 8, is that right?
Crawford,
Isaiah, yeah.
Crawford's 3 for 8.
I was looking at the other Crawford,
Yep.
who's had a really good game.
Well, Isaiah Crawford's first miss at the line. He's 4 for 5 at the line. Now make it 5 of 6.
Louisiana Tech has come from a 10-point deficit and leads by 3 after the Bulldogs led by 12 earlier in the first half. Now Bacho is coming back into the game, and Miller goes to the bench.
Remember we talked about earlier too with Louisiana Tech not have to settle for those threes here in the second half. They've gone to the free throw line 10 times. They're 7 of 10 from the line. WKU's only gone to the line twice.
Allen on the weave.
Shows you what can happen when you don't settle for those 20-footers.
Moore misses off the window. It's put back in, and a foul called.
Yeah, that's Bacho. That's his 4th. Oh, they called that on Crawford.
Babacar Faye working really hard to put it back in. They called it on Isaiah Crawford?
No, they called it on 20. On Jordan Crawford.
On Jordan Crawford,
yep.
Okay. And Fay misses the three-point play opportunity, but it's batted around, and Fay comes away with it.
Nobody in a white jersey put a body on a red jersey, and WKU makes them pay.
Indeed, Tyrone Marshall rips down the three, his 19th made triple of the season.
That's basics 101 on free throws. When you are on the inside position on defense and they're shooting, you have to back up and put a body on a man. Everybody in a white jersey stood and watched the miss. Hilltoppers went and got it and converted a three-pointer.
And it turned out to be a 5-point possession, really. Newman alone in the corner, way too strong. Fay rips off the rebound. This is McHenry. Isaiah Crawford guarding him. This is Fay at the top. Allen nearly lost it and traveled.
Yep. That's good defense that time by Mangum, who forced that travel. He wanted to go up with it. Mangum got in his face, and he got lost in no man's land. Didn't know what to do with it. Came back down and got called for the travel. It's now 12 turnovers.
8.5 thrilling minutes left in this one. Western Kentucky trying to steal a win on the road, leading by 2. Plenty of time to shoot, half the clock with which to work. Crawford at the top, trying to find a lane, lays it up and he lays it in. Boy, he's had quietly a big game offensively.
Yeah, 16 points on 7 of 11 shooting. 1 of 3 from deep, has an assist as well.
And he trails only Mangum in point totals for Louisiana Tech individually today.
You needed players to step up with your big-time three-pointer, and best three-point shooter in the conference not playing tonight. A couple players have done that.
Moore puts it off the window. It's batted around. Mangum gets it to Crawford. Jordan Crawford backs away. Bacho sets the high pick. Now rolls, but he can't get loose. Crawford is alone at the top. Makes the bounce pass down low to Bacho. He forces it in with the left hand.
Yeah, that was an awkward angle, but he was able to get the friendly roll off the glass and then over the top of the rim.
And it gives Louisiana Tech a 2-point lead. 62-60. 7:15 to go. Tighten the seatbelts. Marshall with the lob. His man is right there for the miss, but Fay tips it in. Fay could not convert the lob pass into the dunk, but he was able to get it back and scores after claiming his own offensive rebound.
Tremendous vision, too, because that was cross-court over about 5 players all in the lane to try to sky up and miss the layup.
Crawford is bumped from the ball, and Marshall, who very fortunately was not called for a foul, or one of his teammates, and Crawford just let him go. Yep. He didn't want to pick up the foul.
Exactly, and that's a smart move by Crawford, just to let him roll like that, because you don't want to get a cheap one. Chances are you're not going to block it anyway.
That was a lot of contact, no whistle. It results in a Louisiana Tech turnover and a costly one. 6:20 to play, 64-62, Western Kentucky. Crawford again. Oh, he's got another one. He is just taking over down the lane. How does that little guy get the shots up among the taller trees?
You know, you got a little bit of movement and enough patience to find that lane and get to the glass. That's why I keep harping. Don't settle for those threes right now. That's not why you're in this ball game. You've done it because you started attacking the glass and getting fouls.
18 for Jordan Crawford. McHenry with the floater. Oh, he nails another one. Does he ever miss that shot? By the way, we are told Jordan Crawford has set a new career high with 18 points.
It is. His season high was at New Mexico at the end of November when he had 12. His career high was 15. He has surpassed both of those here tonight.
Isaiah Crawford tried to make a touch pass. Down low and a score. And here comes Fay and Western Kentucky again. And a timeout called with 5:23 to go. That turnover by Isaiah Crawford resulted in the point for Western Kentucky, and it's now a 68-64 game. The Hilltoppers in Ruston lead by 4 with 5:23 to go. Back and forth we go in the Thomas Assembly Center at Louisiana Tech. Western Kentucky by 4 at the moment with a little less than 5.5 minutes to play. Let's check in with Madison Kaufman. Madison.
Right been on the bench taking a rest for quite a while now for Western Kentucky, and that is exactly what the Bulldogs were hoping to do. He's coming back in out of this timeout, but they knew that he would not be scared of Bacho. Both big guys have played at similar levels, both coming from Power 5 schools, but he's not able to stay in the game as long. Coach Hester said he only averages about 20 minutes per game, and we're hoping to take advantage of that when he gets worn out due to the pace that the Hilltoppers play with.
Well, right now, we've got a bang-em ball game going. Western Kentucky leading 68-64. This Louisiana Tech team, after losing at Sam Houston by 4 to open league play, has defeated Middle Tennessee, Liberty, Jacksonville State, UTEP, New Mexico State, and FIU. 6 wins in a row.
If the Bulldogs can pull this out and make it 7, they would tie a school record for the longest win streak in conference play.
Crawford left that 3 ball a little bit short. Now he's forced to defend. McHenry. Crawford is taller. McHenry is quicker and able to create a lot of shots. This is Allen. Look at Bacho defending Howard. Howard with a jump hook.
They got Bacho with a foul. I thought he got an extra step.
Howard with a really sweet fall away, if you will, jump shot, the jump hook. And that's going to be number 4 on Bacho. Howard, when we come back, will have a chance for a 3-point play, and all of a sudden, the lead is 6 for Western Kentucky. Madison Kaufman, Victor Howland, Rollins with you. 4 minutes and 44 seconds to go in this game. Victor, lately, it's been Jordan Crawford being the most consistent scorer for Louisiana Tech as he's been able to slice and dice through the lane. They could use some more of that, but you get the impression that this possession for Louisiana Tech is ultra important because it's a 6-point lead for Western Kentucky. And if they get the ball back and a chance to make it 8 or 9, maybe 10, all of a sudden, in the final 3 minutes or so, this game takes on a different dimension.
Yeah, well, Howard going to the free throw line after drawing that 4th foul on Bacho, who stays in the game. 4 fouls with 4:44 to go.
And the big fellow converts the free throw, making it a 7-point lead. And I believe this possession is critical for Louisiana Tech.
Well, the one thing you don't want to do is worry about settling for that 3-pointer. Keep doing it, like just exactly what he was doing. They called the foul before I could finish the sentence, and that is keep attacking the basket. You were down big earlier in this half, and that's how you got back into it. Mangum hit 1 3-pointer, but everything else was done going to the lane and drawing fouls, and that's what Isaiah Crawford did.
And he'll get a pair of free throws.
He's 3 of 9 from the floor today, but he's 5 of 6 from the free throw line.
And even though it has not been a typical Crawford game from a scoring standpoint, as is pretty typical for him, he has played better in the second half than he did in the first.
Those are 2 big free throws. Now can the Bulldogs get back to their defensive ways, make 1 stop at a time. Really, if you can get back-to-back stops and be able to convert on the offensive side, they can make this a brand new ball game again, but you've got to get the work done on the defensive side.
Newman is guarding McHenry. McHenry gives it up. Louisiana Tech brings it the other way after the turnover. Crawford for 3, a little bit short. Bacho tips it toward Newman, and it's deflected out of bounds. But again, a heck of an idea by Bacho. He is one of the most active big guys you'll see.
Yeah, wasn't in a position really to grab the rebound as he was coming from the far side, but tried to slap into his teammate. Hilltoppers knock it out of bounds. But again, I'd go back to attacking the glass. It's just a 5-point game, plenty of time with 4 minutes to go.
And here's Crawford doing just that, lays it up and in again. He has been like a carnival knife thrower, getting that ball up against the glass and dropping it home.
20 points on 9 of 13 shooting for Jordan Crawford.
The best he's ever scored. A 3-point game. Howard is there, Crawford is there, they bump, and it's going to be Crawford on the foul. And we'll take a timeout. Free throws will be forthcoming when we return. It's a 3-point lead for Western Kentucky. 71-68, a nail biter going down in Ruston. 3:44 to go. Here's Madison Kaufman.
Two Bulldogs having a career night tonight, and Drayvon Mangum with 23 points and Jordan Crawford with 20 points. Now, Jordan Crawford is a youngster. He's a true sophomore. He started a lot of games last season as a true freshman, so it's not surprising that we know that he can have these kind of nights. And in fact, he was found by Coach Hester when he was still at Texas Tech. He was in the area recruiting for someone else or another player, and he said, "How have I not heard about this kid?" When he got the job at Louisiana Tech, it was an easy choice to add him to his roster.
Madison, thank you for that background. As Howard nails the first free throw, he'll get the second one coming. But 43 between Mangum and Crawford. They have carried the load by far for Louisiana Tech tonight. And there's a problem in the foul category, Victor, for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, you have Isaiah Crawford now with 4. In fact, on that last play, it was Crawford and Bacho. Both of them were surrounding Howard. Bulldog fans were hoping it wasn't going to be on Bacho for his 5th, but doesn't make it any easier now when Isaiah Crawford now has his 4th. Bacho has 4, and you know the Hilltoppers are very aware of that and are going to try to pick on both of them.
It's a 5-point game. The Hilltoppers leading 73-68. Newman fades, fires, and scores.
Well, that's good patience. He had a chance to take the shot the first time, and then he waited, and then when the defense decided to part ways, he was able to put up that jumper.
And that's a huge conversion for the youngster and his Louisiana Tech teammates. 73-70, Western Kentucky leading. Howard and Bacho down low. He got Bacho in the air, but he misses the short shot, and Mangum is there to snare the rebound. That's one Western Kentucky would probably convert if it had another opportunity, but it did not go their way that time, and Louisiana Tech can cut it to 1 or tie it with a 3-ball. This for the tie. Short, Marshall rebound.
And a hotly contested shot way out in the corner by Allen. A little bit of a force for the Bulldogs. No need with 2:30 to go. No need to have to force a corner 3 with a man in your face.
Howard makes the catch behind Bacho, and he lays it in, and that was nicely done. A super feed down to Howard on the move.
That's just smart basketball. They're going right at the big man, knowing that Bacho's going to have to make a decision. At some point now, with just over 2 minutes to go, he'll make the decision whether or not to make an aggressive play. And if he foul out, so be it. But Western Kentucky trying to force the issue. That's just well played to go to their big man.
And Crawford will go to the free throw line after soliciting the foul.
For his part tonight, Howard is now the leading scorer for the Hilltoppers. 17 points on just 4 made field goals. But for a guy that shoots 64% from the line on the year, Howard is 9 for 9 tonight at the stripe. Meanwhile, Louisiana Tech leaves another opportunity there. Now 15 to 22 for the game.
And Jordan Crawford will try to at least get 1 point out of this trip to the free throw line. He does not.
1 for 5. He's 1 for 5 now.
And then a bumping foul on Mangum trying to chase the rebound. Oh, that didn't work out at all for the home team, did it?
That was worst case scenario. Missed 2 gimmies with the clock not running, and then another foul sent him back to the free throw line.
And a chance to move the lead to 7 with 2:14 to go.
The Hilltoppers are expanding their lead and now have 6 of their last 7 field goals, let alone the success they've had at the free throw line.
These will be the first free throws of the night for Brandon Newman, who has 5 field goals and 11 points. Bacho nearly lost it, but he saved the rebound down to Newman. Newman on the run. Crawford thought about the 3. 2 minutes left. Crawford takes it, comes up short. Crawford sails in for the rebound, puts it back up too strong, a foul called, and Crawford, who missed a couple of shots, nonetheless, will have an opportunity to score at the stripe.
Well, it's a heads-up play by Crawford because he knew this 3-pointer was short. Watch, he steps back, but he's got a big man and Howard on him at 6'11". But when he launched it, he knew it was going to be short, and look at the explosiveness down the lane to get his own rebound. Can't get the 3-point play by getting the putback, but at least can go to the line.
6 for 7 now at the stripe after that conversion.
Again, 1:55 to go. If he makes this, it's just a one possession a game, but you don't need to get the 3. You've got to get a stop.
And you cannot leave points at the stripe.
16 to 25 now, 9 missed free throws, but you're still in good shape. You just have to make a stop on the defensive end. That's going to be it for Crawford. They're going to call him with the leg. Explosive play there by Marshall, who went past Isaiah Crawford, and they call him for sticking out his knee and getting him, and that's going to be the game for him.
Crawford tried to block the baseline and could not do it without fouling. And so Isaiah Crawford is gone.
13 points on just 3 of 11 shooting. He was 6 of 8 from the free throw line.
Most of his production came in the second half.
Oh, no question.
As has been his custom lately. But Louisiana Tech will be without Isaiah Crawford's services for the final 99 seconds.
And now with Isaiah Crawford out, the Hilltoppers are going to look to try to attack Bacho. If they start getting into an offensive set, they're going to keep Howard on the floor, and you better believe they're going to go back to the big man and let him try to work Bacho over and see if they can get Bacho to commit.
Meanwhile, Tyrone Marshall will shoot free throws. He's got a pair coming.
Remember earlier in this half, we saw Louisiana Tech not put a body on a red jersey. What did you remember? Was that a 5-point play when they missed and they wound up hitting a 3? You have to box out now. You need possession. You've got to get a body on a body.
It's a 5-point lead for Western Kentucky and a critical possession for Louisiana Tech.
Boy, what a beautiful pass. What a pass by Newman to see Crawford coming on the same side of the floor. It's one thing when you're coming from the opposite corner, but that was same corner, and he led him with a one-handed bounce pass.
22 for Crawford, an amazing performance. This crowd is imploring defense, defense. 70 seconds to go. 76-73, Western Kentucky with the lead. Howard at the top, will not shoot from there. 3 seconds to fire, 2 seconds, 1, the shot's in the air, no good, tip, controlled by Moore. Oh, they can back out and use some more time.
Boy, all of that work on the defensive end to force a shot with 1 second on the clock and then to give them another 20.
It's a one-possession game, a 3-point lead, 8 to shoot, 40 left in the contest. McHenry puts it on the floor, kicks it left side, Moore for 3, rattles out. Newman's got the rebound with 31 seconds to play. And Louisiana Tech will take a timeout and talk it over with 28 seconds remaining. And Western Kentucky playing defense. Louisiana Tech owns the ball with a 3-point deficit right now. Oh, down to the last possession we go, potentially, Victor.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Coach Hester calls here. As he try to go for a quick shot, hoping that maybe you make it, and then play defense for a steal or a foul and send it to the line to stop the clock? Or do you basically milk this with 2 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock? Do you try to work a 3? If you're going to do that, you have to get that shot up probably with, 5-6 seconds, because you want to try to get the rebound if you miss to give yourself any kind of chance of maybe drawing another foul. It'll be interesting to see what they call here on who they have on the floor. Ree has taken 5 3-pointers. He hasn't hit any. Newman's taken 4. He hasn't hit any. Bacho, of course, doesn't shoot the 3. Jordan Crawford is 1 for 3, and then Mangum is 5 for 10 from behind the line. So 6 of your 7 made 3-pointers are on the floor. The other one, of course, is Isaiah Crawford, who, as we know, just fouled out moments ago.
The nerves are jangling in the Thomas Assembly Center. 28 seconds to play. Western Kentucky trying to steal a win in a place where teams hardly ever win.
And remember, these two teams preseason were picked 3 and 4. Western Kentucky was picked 3rd preseason Conference USA. Louisiana Tech was picked 4th. And as we know right now, the Bulldogs sit atop the standings all alone.
And they've got a 6-game conference winning streak on the line, does Louisiana Tech. Ree will trigger it He's got Newman, Mangum, Bacho, and Crawford on the floor as well.
Look, if there's one reason why I would have a problem if Louisiana Tech tries to go for a quick two, because the strength of this team is defense. So you can try to force a steal and get out of it. Let's see what Coach Hester drew up in the huddle.
Well, they're not going for a quick two. Crawford. Offensive foul away from the ball on Bacho. My goodness. How in the world can that happen?
Trying to set a high screen, and he moved, and instead of staying still with his man dribbling back and forth, they get Bacho on motion, setting an illegal screen.
And a worst case scenario for Louisiana Tech as it gives up the ball away from the ball on an illegal pick by Bacho. And my goodness.
It almost looked like Howard pushed Bacho from behind, which then pushed Bacho into another player and made it look like it was Bacho moving. But it's a very interesting angle. Take another look here. Watch Howard from behind, who gives a little body bump to Bacho, who then goes into Tegan Moore, and they call the foul on Bacho setting the screen, but they're not going to take another look at it. They're going to leave it there. So Bacho and Crawford both foul out.
20.5 seconds to go. And my goodness, Louisiana Tech owned the ball with a 3-point deficit, had a chance to tie, and right now it's still down by 3, but does not have ownership of the basketball.
This has to be an instant steal or then an instant foul. You have
got
to foul right away.
Got to hack and hope right here.
Yep. Yeah, you can't wait that much time now.
But every second can be critical. You've got to foul immediately. Don't foul with 2 seconds elapsed if you can do it with 1 second.
Right, and you understand there might be hesitation because you know McHenry's an 83% free throw shooter, but at this point, you don't have any choice.
It was wise, of course, for Western Kentucky to get the ball in their best shooter's hands.
Just a reminder, coming in tonight on top of the standings, Louisiana Tech 6-1 in conference, Sam Houston 6-2, New Mexico State at 5-3, and then WKU there in fourth at 4-4.
McHenry coolly drops both free throws. And it's a 5-point game right now. Crawford on the move, lays it up and in, but he was fouled before the shot. The whistle clearly blew the play dead as Crawford was moving toward the bucket before shooting. Let's call it 14 seconds to play. But a 5-point lead, so Louisiana Tech needs a score and then needs the ball back without allowing a score.
First and foremost, you got to get to the free throw line and convert. And that's something that Louisiana Tech has struggled a little bit with tonight. Usually they've been a pretty good free throw shooting team, but tonight 64% on 16 of 25 shooting on the season as a team. Louisiana Tech is shooting just under 70%, so they're a little below that tonight, having left 9 opportunities at the free throw line. But right now, you have to hit these 2 to make it a 3-point game, and then you go full court, face-to-face press to try to get the steal, a quick steal, or an instant foul.
Crawford just missed a couple of free throws.
He's not getting any arch under those free throws.
Yeah,
it's a very flat shot and a little too much muscle behind it, hitting the back of the iron. Now 1 for 6. His last 3 misses have all looked exactly the same.
Oh boy. He got the roll that time.
Now you got a face guard, full court press. If they get it in, it's got to be an instant foul.
But it's still a 5-point lead, and there is the immediate foul. We've got a discrepancy. One scoreboard says 78-74. The other one, now they've switched it. It's a 4-point lead.
He had a chance to make 2, cut it to 3. Just made that last one. Let's see what Howard does. Howard's been the story for them. 9 for 9 at the free throw line. Oh, what a time to miss his first one of the night.
But it's still a 2-possession game. And can't get beyond that even if Howard makes this free throw. But Louisiana Tech is going to have to get a score and make it pronto.
It's going to be in the hands of Crawford or Newman, and they're going to have to go blistering down the floor.
Enoch Golumbay comes back in the ball game, replacing Howard. Here's Crawford on the move. He blows by Newman, lays it up and it's in with the left hand. That comes with 8.1 seconds to go, and Louisiana Tech is still with a chance here. Not the greatest of chances, trailing by 3 with 8 seconds remaining. But my goodness, has Jordan Crawford come to the forefront, 23 points. It's the most he's ever scored. And he alone has kept this Louisiana Tech team in the game.
Yeah, Crawford tonight has more points in this one game than he has in the last 6 games combined.
Here's Western Kentucky. It'll be at Jacksonville State, and then home against UTEP, home against New Mexico State. Middle Tennessee will be the opponent on the 24th, and Louisiana Tech has a return trip at the end of the month.
That New Mexico State game looking very big right now with the way those standings are. 2 teams in the top 4 of the standings.
Louisiana Tech will be at Liberty, then Jacksonville State, Florida International, UTEP, and New Mexico State on the road. A 1-1 opportunity coming here for Western Kentucky and McHenry.
Well, yeah, it's going to be 2 free throws. The 1-1 they were showing was actually for number 11. But the foul was on Henderson. He's going to get 2 here. You can almost put these automatically in the books. He shoots almost 85% for a reason.
And that free throw makes it a 2-possession game.
Now taking over the scoring lead for their team with 19. Howard on 8 with 18.
The Hilltoppers will retreat. And here comes Crawford again. Gets it up to Newman. Shoots the floater. It's blocked and goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Louisiana Tech, but 1.3 seconds to go. And a 5-point lead, and Western Kentucky is going to do something that is extremely rare in this building, and that's come in and beat Louisiana Tech at home.
Not a lot of people over the last decade plus can say that they left Ruston with a win. This game has been every bit as entertaining as we thought it would be between these 2 top teams in the conference. But you got to give the Hilltoppers credit. Such a slow, sluggish start. They fought their way through it to take a little bit of a lead at half. Louisiana Tech fought back in the second half, but foul trouble by Bacho and Isaiah Crawford eventually did them in, and the Hilltoppers get a very important win on the road.
So after a slow start and then a couple of runs which regained the lead for Louisiana Tech, Bulldogs at one point led by 12. Biggest lead for Western Kentucky was 10, and Western Kentucky holds on and comes away with an impressive victory, 81-76. So Western Kentucky does to Louisiana Tech what only one other team has done in Conference USA, and that's come up with a win. 81-76, the final, as Western Kentucky defeats Louisiana Tech. For Madison Kaufman and Victor Howell, I'm Lynn Rollins. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's telecast on ESPN. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.